welcome, Lance. I want to make sure that you guys are all welcome. For those that are joining us for the first time, for the veterans in the room that love to continuously show up, blessed, blessed. What we come here for every single week, every single Thursday at 8 p.m. EST, 6 p.m. MST is brotherhood, blessings, and breakthroughs. You see, it's the brotherhood between men. The only time you look down at a man is when you're picking him back up. The blessings from above. Simple. And then the breakthroughs. It may be something I say, it may be something another lion says, but be prepared to have breakthroughs based on what you want to achieve, based on what you are dedicating 1 hour of your week to be on this call. You see, last week we talked a lot about AI. We talked about HI. We talked about artificial intelligence versus human intelligence. We figured out things that artificially are helping us scale and manifest our world of technology, but we are also focused over here on human intelligence, which is what I want to be talking more about. The human intelligence of us as men coming together, understanding the brain power that we have, the brain power that can actually manifest what we want around us. Now, for some of those last week, we talked about jobs. We talked about creating jobs. We talked about prompt engineers. We talked about virtual assistants. We talked about jobs of the future based on artificial intelligence coming in. Makes sense. But what about human intelligence? Human intelligence also comes down to the making money concept. Making money from your business. Making money from a result of a system being able to produce. Now, a lot of people are selling a lot of things online, gentlemen. We know this. We got a lot of marketing agencies going like, no, lead generation, lead generation. You don't need lead gen. I'll tell you right now, if I could sell you one thing right now, I'm going to sell you right now. Pick up your phone, check how many contacts you have, and start fucking making some phone calls. You probably blow your mind. You don't need a marketing company. You don't need a get-rich-quick scheme. You don't need any of the stuff that's even offered online. You just need to tap into your own network and have a system to make sure that you can do it because you already have the contacts. You already have the people in your database because you've already worked hard enough to be the fucking lion that you are and the king that you deserve to be. So today we're going to decode that a bit. And the last thing that we talked about last week that I had a lot of good feedback on, by the way. A lot of people reached out to me and messaged me and they were like, damn, Jay, that final point hit me so hard. Hit me so hard. And I was like, okay. They're like, manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer. And I was like, yeah. Like, damn, man, like differentiating the difference between those. The manufacturer is the creator, the wholesaler is the middleman, and the retailer is what gets it out to the crowd. Which one are you? And how are you showing up to the world? And when saying so, I'm going to tune into today's conversation because why? Why does that even matter, gentlemen? Why does that even matter to understand if you're a manufacturer, a wholesaler, or a retailer? It matters because your audience matters. Because everyone gets into business thinking that their fucking product or service is going to be the best of the best. Woo, yeah. Instead of understanding what the audience is actually looking for. You see, when you start to understand what the audience, what the people are actually wanting, and you can create a product or service and then go and solve that problem. I said it last week perfectly. You know, when I was connecting with a billionaire contact out in Miami, we were sitting there at J.W. Turnberry, and he told me that simple story. He said, Jay, becoming a millionaire is just solving a problem, but becoming a billionaire now is having somebody else solve that problem for you. What does that tell you, gentlemen? That tells you connection through conversation is everything. And when I say audience, I mean like, who is your audience? Who could be your audience? What is the audience? Let's talk about communication. Today's theme, this week's theme and topic was all about communication. It was about understanding one-to-one, one-to-few, and one-to-many. You see that? And when we start to understand that, we look at our audience and we look at one-to-one for a quick second. One-to-one could be like a client meeting. Simple. It's a client meeting. Maybe it's a date. Maybe going on a date with a beautiful woman. Maybe it's dealing with your parent or dealing with your child. One-to-one communication is very powerful. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. The second one is one to few. Now, if I'm one to few right now, I could just be in a boardroom scene, a boardroom. I got a couple executives that I got to speak to. I could be in with maybe a group of friends. Maybe we're out having a couple of drinks and I got to make a toast, a little cheers. Maybe I'm with my family. Maybe it's a wedding. Olivia just got married, recently. He's on the call. I know he is. He just got married. So, like, being able to speak to your family at a dinner. But then there's also the third one, gentlemen, which is one to many. How do you speak to the masses now? How do you speak when it comes to a stage like this? Me being on a stage right now in front of y'all, being able to have not only the confidence, not only the courage, not only the charisma to do this, but just to be able to show up and actually deliver a message, a simple message. What happens when it comes to the team that you're running right now? When you have to wake up every single morning and jump on a team meeting, JC knows that. JC feels that every single morning we jump on the team meeting call. We got the whole team there, and I'm like, okay, where are we at, guys? Boom, boom, boom. Welber's starting to understand that now. He's coming in as well, too, And you start to see team being a huge placement. And then, of course, your next generation. What is the voice that you want to give to the rest? Look, I don't have a next generation. My entire company ethos for 10 years has been the next gen group of companies. Next gen properties, next gen wealthy, next gen collective now. All of it for the next gen, even though I don't even have a baby yet. So what is your voice to the people? What is your God-given pathway to understand that God has a plan for you and now is articulating that as from you as a voice in a vessel? This is where it starts to get interesting, gentlemen. This is where I'm on my path now and going like, how can I go and speak in India in front of 1 billion people? Yeah, goals, everyone talks about goals, aspirations, and everything like that. No, goals could be speaking in front of 1 billion people, impacting 1 billion people. That's an interesting goal now, right? A little bit bigger, far-fetched than most people will think. But guess what? When you have a belief in yourself to know that 1 billion people are waiting for me in India, let alone the 1 billion here in North and South America, got 2 billion to work with before I tackle the other 8. Very interesting. Again, goal perspective. Now, when we start talking about this, guys, one to one, one to few, one to many. What's interesting about it all is there's only one common denominator. One simple common denominator. Sales. Because you got to sell. You have to sell. Don't matter if you're at the date. Don't matter if you're at the dinner table. Don't matter what you're doing trying to close the next deal. You have to sell. The only way to accumulate money, dollar value, presence, power, poise is going to be to learn how to sell. Now, the only thing that I will suggest, and that's just my suggestion, gentlemen, is that we do this strategically. We do this with articulation. We do this with nonverbal body language skills that allow us to position and really empower us the right way. Now, one thing that I heard from a good friend of mine, and I want to give her that respect, Jessica, actually, she gave me this thing called the Human Owner's Manual. It was a very interesting concept. It's a human owner's manual. You know when you buy a new vehicle? I just bought a new Ford Bronco, right? So when I first bought the Bronco, I kind of went into the glove box and I saw the owner's manual. It just gave me an owner's manual on just how to run the truck, what everything does, all the functionality, everything like that. Imagine if you had your own human, real owner's manual, like your human owner's manual that allowed you to be able to put your, here's my vehicle, which is me, which is my teachings, my knowledge, my experience, all the shit that I've been through, especially as a man, because nobody fucking acknowledges that, especially the emotional side of things. Right, gentlemen? I'm sure y'all can agree with that one. Nobody ever acknowledges that, but it's okay, because what do we got to do? We got to rub some dirt in it. We got to be a man. We got to keep showing up. We got to keep providing. We got to keep protecting. And one day, hopefully, we get the dream life. No, what it is about you understanding exactly who you are and understanding your owner's manual that you have. Look, I have an owner's manual, and I open that owner's manual every single Thursday when I show up here. I show up here every single day, and I'm like, okay, like which chapter do I want to open up? That's why I constrict and construct everything that I speak about on these calls an hour prior to when I jump on. I'm not sitting here for a week prior going like, what can I talk about? What can I incentivize them? I give my team some clues. We text y'all. You see my messages. I text you guys. I want to see who responds. I see every single message that comes in. Don't get me wrong. But it's what it's understanding about is that, look, instead of telling you what to do, I could sit on this call and I could say, guys, this is what you should do. This is the ABTCs to success. This is what you should do. And if you follow this, guess what? You will be successful. But every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing that. I'm not Tom, Dick, or Harry. I'm fucking Jay DeHaan, and I know it. So what I'm here to tell you is, what have I done that has fucked me up that could help you now not fuck up? That could improve something in your world that can help you. So I'm going to tell you 3 don'ts today. I'm going to tell you 3 things that I've learned not to do, especially in this last week. For those of you that are on the call last week, you understand the emotion, the energy, the understanding. I was in the emergency room actually earlier today because of the migraines that I'm going through and certain things. But guess what? We're fucking lions. I don't have fucking time for that shit. If I came on this call right now, I was like, guys, I was in an emergency room earlier. I won't be able to make the call. JC, can you take it on? Billy, can you help me out? I'm a fucking weak man then. I have responsibilities to show up on this call, and I will continuously show up because of that energy. So when we look at this and we look at like the do's and do nots, I'm just going to go back to the don'ts. Like, don't do it. Don't do it because it ain't going to fucking help you. And I know a lot of men on this call are going to be able to take these simple teachings, tactics, and lessons and be able to really, where did I actually do that? And I shouldn't have done that. Where did I do that? And that was not the right call. Now let's start with the first one. Don't talk shit. And most of you are like, oh, okay. So Jay, break this down for me now. Guys, it's not about talking shit. It's not about don't talk shit, but what it really is that you need to believe in what you say. So many people are out there trying to portray someone else, not themselves. They are trying to say and speak about things that they don't or haven't experienced or learned from. I talk shit about marketing agencies all the time for a reason, because marketing agencies are trying to just sell you on like what you could get. But guess what? Do you believe that? Do you believe in yourself enough? Where's your social media profile before you start to sell somebody on how their social media profile can look? When we start to understand this mindset is believe what you say. Like Welbert is a good example. Welbert's one of our editors inside Next Gen. And what's crazy about Welbert is that Welbert posts amazing stuff. So when he posts something about someone, I'm like, damn, it's not even about me right now, but he's posting about somebody else and he's posting on his profile. Damn, that's looking good. So he's a living demonstration of what he's preaching about. Most people are not like that. They say a lot, they can sell a lot, but they can't fucking walk it. That's the red flag dangerous part that you want to ignite. When I say it, there's an old statement that I always like to bring up, right? We've all heard it for sure. Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Now, let me tell you right now, let me decode that for you right now. Yes, it can work. Yes, it is a step to helping you build confidence. Because if you can start to fake it until you make it, you start to say, you know what? No, like I'm capable. Like I'm capable, I'm able, I'm ready. Okay, let's go. Like I can do this. That's confidence. I'm there before I'm there now is cockiness. So there's a little fine line between the two. Very interesting between the both sides. But when you look at fake it till you make it, take it for an example like myself. For many years when I was growing up in my early 20s, I was in a position where I was trying to fake it. I was trying to show off. I was trying to sit there and drive a vehicle that I didn't even pay for. And then I was sitting there and I was like, but I still got it. I still got it in my hands. I still know what I'm doing. I still can. And the faking it till you make it got me to understand that I'm actually pleasing people versus understanding myself. You see, I don't give a shit that I'm sitting in a flannel shirt right now. Look at this. I'm in a flannel. I look like my dad, to be honest, in Calgary. You know, he wears like a shirt and he wears this. Like normally I should be in a suit. Normally I should be wearing a Rolex. And maybe normally I should be, on the brink. No. I don't give a shit anymore. And that reason of understanding, fake it till you make it, got me to start to understand. Don't talk shit. You don't need to. The Warren Buffetts in the world, the Bill Gates in the world, the Elon Musk in the world, you think they care? You think they give a shit? Like, take some simple principles from the billionaires in the world. They wear the same pair of pants, they wear the same jacket, but they're worth billions. It's a very simplistic mindset that actually helps you evolve. And the distractions that are created in between is like, oh, but I got to get that new car, because if I can get that new car, then everyone's going to think I got success. And if I got success, now all of a sudden I can make more money. And then if I can make more money, I'll buy another house. And if I can have a house now, I can build a family. But you don't fucking need the house to build a family. You need a woman that's dedicated and loves you. That's it. You don't need a house. You don't need a car. You don't need anything. You don't need it. Maybe you need to pay for some diapers. Fair enough. Make sure the kid is taken care of. But that's about it. It's not much. Very simplistic thoughts that can create an incredible future. The second thing that I want to say is don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. See, the problem with interrupting is that we don't fucking understand. Us men too, man. I'll tell you, I'm putting both my hands up on this one. I am guilty at this because I'm a speaker. I'm a natural born speaker. And when I say that, I was fearful of public speaking at 21 years old, but I took a quest for 10 years to become where I am. But I'm a natural born speaker. You see the confidence that I infuse? See this? See this? I am a natural born speaker. However, that being said, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Why did God do that one? He said, listen. Don't hear. How many of you are hearing? We hear a lot, but we don't listen. We hear a lot, but we don't listen. So when you understand that you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, it is so powerful, guys. For those of you that are on the call last week, here's where I get a bit emotional with you guys right now. Last week, I was able to get a bit vulnerable about my relationship and things that are happening in my life right now. And one thing that really hit me this last week was shut the fuck up and listen. Sometimes you need to just listen. You need to listen to the energy around you. My relationship has been incredible for the last 2 years, but unfortunately, we've gotten into this little lull rut situation, whatever you want to classify it as. And the number one takeaway I did for self-reflection in myself was really understanding, damn, I just wasn't listening. You see, the problem is that I got complacent. Look, in a relationship between a man and a woman, and I know Billy will agree with me on this one, a man wants respect and a woman wants love. That's it. That's the key to fucking relationship, gentlemen. I'll put it point blank right here for you. If the man gets respect and the woman gets love, the relationship will be incredible. But if not, how does a relationship that's so perfect, like mine was, perfect, and it still is, I got hope, I got faith, I understand God has a plan. But how did that lose my tracks? It lost my track because of complacency. You see, what we do, especially as men, is that we love the fucking chase. We love the chase. We like the prowl. We like to go and get, I'm going to go pick her up. That's the girl that I want to be with. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go extra. I'm going to take her out on dates. I'm going to call her every single second I got. I'm going to tell her I love her. I'm going to do everything that I possibly can. But what happens when you get her? What happens when you achieve her? What happens when you have the check mark where you're like, oh, wifey check mark, I'll be good? Guess what happens? You get complacent. And complacency is the fucking root to all evil when it comes to relationships. I want you to understand that because I'm living it. I got complacent. I thought that it was just going to be okay. And I stopped and I forgot to listen to the things that I was actually understanding and was like, oh, I'm hearing, baby, it's all good. Don't worry. It's all good. It's all good. I'll just show up 30 minutes late. No problem. It's all good. Oh, don't worry. It's all, but I paid $7,000 last year for your teeth. Don't worry. I can show up late 30 minutes. Why can't I show up 30 minutes late if I paid $7,000 for your teeth? That's a wrong mindset, gentlemen. You see, what happens is our ego is like that thing. And that's the third point that I'm gonna really say to you guys is that ego is like, don't speak so much. Don't speak so much. The real fucking leaders out there will shut the fuck up and sit back and listen and understand and not speak so much. Now it's hard because Welber's looking at me going like, Jay, if you stop speaking, man, I don't know if that's gonna be good because I gotta edit that stuff, man. I gotta make sure your reels are looking fire. But that's not what I'm saying. Jokes aside, what I am saying though is you can't speak too much. Sometimes it is good to just sit down and understand that our anger, our ego, our anger and our ego as men, sometimes we just get infuriated in the situation. What the fuck? What the? And I just stand up like this, and all of a sudden the woman takes it a very different way. Like all I'm just doing is expressing myself, and I'm maybe getting a little bit louder right now, and like, ooh, I'm getting a little bit like, but the woman is going like, oh my god, what's going on? What's going on? That I, and that's an interesting concept now. So when we can break that back down and we say that ego is the killer of us. You know, last night actually was crazy. I was chilling out with one of my childhood best friends. His name is Gary, and he's a lawyer here. He's a family lawyer, so he deals with divorce cases. He happily married man, 2 years happily married, drives a Tesla, owns incredible investment properties, very successful man. But he was telling me last night, and he's like, "Damn, bro, like." And I haven't been able to chat with him for so long, and you know, again, he's busy, so he can't jump on the lines then sometimes. And he's like, "Damn, like all this happened, like wow." He's like, "Bro," he's like, "One thing I learned about life." He's like, "The wife is always right." He's like, just say sorry, bro. Just say sorry and just be right. And as I took that advice in, I was like, you know what? You do got merit to that. Fair enough. Men's egos are very big. So could we just calm it down? Could we just shut it up and just say, all good? Well, I've done that so many times. I've gone into fights with my girl in the last year, and I did that exact same thing. And it didn't work. It didn't work. What did work though now was starting to understand, look, it was my ego that I had a placement in this situation. And on top of that, it was your ego that had a placement in this situation. So the only thing that can happen now is that we understand separation to understand if we are meant to be. It's like a fucking gamble, gentlemen. My relationship right now is an entire gamble right now where I'm starting here right now from a broken up position and we're going to go like this. And every single second and every single day takes a little, and I don't know when that line is going to be drawn. But if I can hit that before that line gets drawn and I can get back, we're going to be happily ever after. But if it goes over that line, guess what happens? It's over forever. And that's how powerful it can be for you to shut the fuck up and don't say anything. Because as much as you want to say, sometimes it's time to internalize. Sometimes it's time to reflect. Sometimes it's time to take your own second and say, you know what? I need a day. Go sit on the grass. Go ground yourself. Take your fucking shoes off. Take your socks off. Go sit in the grass and just lay there and look up to the beautiful blue sky and be like, you know what? I'm going to speak to my God. I'm going to speak to myself right now. I'm going to be able to understand what it is that I actually need versus what I think I want. Because everyone wants something. And speaking of that, everyone wants something. How many times do we speak about the word I? When I say don't talk too much, when we're in conversations, gentlemen, here's some insights for you. How many times you saying I in the conversation? Yeah, I did this, and oh yeah, wow, that reminded me that you know I was in this situation, and that I. We focus so much on I, and we don't focus on we or you. So take that time to understand, to not speak so much. And final thing on this, before I get to some Q&A, so I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from everything, all the experience and all the amazing things that you guys bring and some of the problems, questions, anything that you guys have. But when we really start to understand communication, we start to understand one-to-one one to few, one to many. One to one is going to be the most powerful connections that you have because they are going to be the one person. Could be your spouse, could be your employee, could be a friend, but it's going to be one on one. The one to few is being able to really understand how you can articulate in a very quick group scene. Are you the one that's making the cheers? Are you the one that's giving a blessing? Are you the one that's praying before you eat? How are you stepping up to becoming the leader that you deserve to be, the king that you know you already are? And then one to many. How are you getting your voice out there? I don't give a fuck if you're dead broke or if you have $100 million. It's irrelevant. Communication is everything. How you articulate to the masses, how you can get on a call like this and to be able to speak to some incredible men that are on this call and those that are going to watch in the recording is a different game. Gentlemen, I encourage all of you, and that's why I give you guys this stage, this placement for you guys to share your voice, your vessel, to be able to share your thoughts and your questions. I love to take the first 30 minutes because guess what? I created it. I founded it. And I've owned and honored myself and God for giving me this blessing. So I show up every single Thursday, regardless of going to the medical clinic this morning and understanding the freaking herniation that's happening between my C3 and my CD and all these doctors that are fucking prescribing me pills because they can't do anything else because they don't really know anything else, to be honest. It's either a new scan or a new drug or a new fucking bullshit. There's no real answers to my problem at the moment. But at the end of the day, you know what? You keep pushing forward. You show up on stage. You show up to the brothers that are committed to you. And that's what we do every single day, every single week. So I just want to reiterate for those of you that are on the call, why we do this every single Thursday, why I show up myself, regardless of what country, regardless of what time zone, regardless of where I'm at. I should have actually been in Montana by now, by the way. I was going to be in Montana driving down to Florida, but yet Florida had a hurricane. So I was like, ooh, maybe I should stay in Calgary. So here we are in Calgary, Alberta, still in flannel, guys. But again, remember this. It's all about the brotherhood between men. The only time we look down at a man is when we are picking him back up. Solidify that. Blessings. Blessings from above. God is an incredible, incredible energy source. And the more you tap into it, regardless of your religion, you have to understand that there is a higher power. Simply put. I don't care what walk of life you came from. I don't care what religion you've been born into. I've been born into Sikhism. I'm learning Christianity. I've gone through Buddhism, Hinduism. I've understood it. I'm learning teachings from all different aspects to really get clear on who I am as a man in this world, who I want to be, not who people think that I should be, who my parents thought that they should be, or anything else. It's me stepping up into the game that I deserve to be. And the last one is the breakthroughs. Like I said, gentlemen, it may be something I say tonight. It may be something another lion shares tonight. But be open to those breakthroughs. Sometimes our ego fucking kills our judgment for us to understand who to listen to, what to listen to. And I get that there's a lot of fluff out there. I get that there's a lot of fluff out there and everybody's selling something. But at the end of the day, trust your sources, trust your information. Look at those people that are actually, the best way that I'll explain it this is one of my mentors. He taught me this at the very beginning. Before I go to JC, because JC, I want you to bring in, and I want you to just tell the gentleman exactly what we can do in the next steps, because we do have a sales pitch. We do have stuff. I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't have time to bullshit you. We do have something incredible. We have an incredible opportunity for you guys to join a community, and JC's going to talk about that. But my mentor, he said this one thing to me. He said, only look for a coach and a mentor that has or is doing something that you aspired to become. Why are we looking at people that we just get excited about? They show us 10x and they show us money and they show us planes and they show us all this amazing stuff, which God, respect Grant and I respect the family. We're close to the Cardones, but just understanding that mindset, just be careful. Be careful about starting to put down, house lines and credit lines down on products and services that aren't with someone that's going to be able to walk you through the process. Young, right? Like you were at the age when when I was actually specifically, getting through the phase of being so fearful of public speaking at 21. And then by 24, I was closing $1 million deals. How did I do that in 3 years within that time frame? It was simply understanding, yes, communication, but being able to know what is communication. Like, communication isn't just speaking on a stage. Communication is how you internally dialogue yourself. The biggest lesson that I learned, especially at a young age, and I recommend this to you as a 23-year-old as well, is how do you speak to yourself? When you mess something up, when you fuck something up, how do you speak to yourself? Are you like, fuck, man, I fucking ruined it. I could have, shit, man. And you get into this self like constricting mindset, or you're like, you know what? Lessons are learned. Damn, that was hard. You see, the thing is, this last week in this relationship situation, I was able to start to understand, I got to start self thinking about me right now. Cause like I can point as many fingers as I want like this, but there's three fingers pointing back at me. So the more that I can do self reflection, the more that I can understand where I'm at and how I'm speaking to myself. I'm like, really, Jay? Like you've been in three relationships your whole life. Now the third one's gone now too. I can speak like that if I so choose. Or I can say, what did I learn from this lesson now? What is the next step? Where can I get blessed? Where can I look up and pray? Where can I understand opportunities? Robert Kiyosaki said this very nicely. He said, there's people that say, I can't afford it. And there's people that say, how can I afford it? Are you asking yourself a question, or are you just giving yourself a statement to create the self-belief that isn't going to be sufficient enough for you to succeed? So for you, brother, the communication that I'd recommend for you right now, especially at that age, is the communication you're having with yourself. Because the more that you can internalize to yourself and communicate internally positive, the rest is just practice. Like you're not born a natural born speaker. Like Tony Robbins charges $750,000 3 hours of his time. John Maxwell's at $125,000 for 90 minutes of his time. Just speakers. They just are just sharing a story, sharing experience. What makes them better than a Bill Gates or an Elon Musk? They just packaged it the right way. Today was a bit of a hard day for me with all the things that I got going on medically, all the things that I got going on traveling, trying to get back to my city with a hurricane happening and relationships up and down, left, right, and center. You know what? God does this in threes, though. Remember this, gentlemen. God does this in threes. He hits you once, he hits you twice, he hits you three times because he's getting ready for you to understand what the next chapter is for you. So whenever you're feeling negativity, whenever you're feeling downfall, whenever you're feeling the adversities that are fucking breaking you as a man, just know there's a plan bigger than you. It is bigger than you. So, gentlemen, lions, the kings on the call. Love and respect for showing up tonight. For those that are going to watch the recording, bless. And I cannot wait to see y'all next week. Lions Den, 8 p.m. EST, baby. Let's go. Take care.